So these tiny little things are, I believe, the flower parts of a fir tree before the big pine cones are produced, and they actually look just like a tiny version of the larger pine cone. So, but they are quite fragile. So they do, if you do touch them, the little bits fall off, and they're too long. But I don't like to make them shorter until I've stabilised them. And how I stabilise them is just using some liquid Fimo. And you have to be a bit gentle with how much you use, because otherwise they get completely goopy and they don't bake very well. So just put a little bit of liquid Fimo on your work surface, and then take a cocktail stick and draw the liquid Fimo onto the little cone. Make sure you get it to cover all of it, because if you miss a bit, it'll just drop off. Now you want that to soak right in. If you find that your liquid Fimo is a bit old, it might be a little bit thick, so it might not want to soak in. If that's the case, just use a little bit of alcohol to thin it out, and you can probably paintbrush it on. It might be even a little bit easier. So then you need to put it somewhere to almost to drain or to soak in, so that the liquid Fimo really soaks into the organic matter. And that might be why you would want to thin it with alcohol. If you can though, just use it direct from the bottle. You don't even have to use a cocktail stick, you can just paint it on with the bottle directly on. I just find it a little bit easier to use the cocktail stick. I can see what I'm doing better using the cocktail stick, so make sure you don't put too much on, because it does pool. So here are some I've made earlier. And these, after they've soaked in, I've taken them back off the cocktail stick and put them on the surface. And as you can see, they are fully stuck to the surface. So the liquid Fimo has pooled a little bit onto the surface. But when I put them onto a display, you're never going to see that side. That side does have a little tiny bit of pooling. And is shiny, so you wouldn't want to see it on a final display, but nobody's going to see it because it'll always be on one side or the other. Even if you put it on a Christmas tree, you're going to stick it in so that only one side is visible. So this is too big, and you don't need all this stuff, it's too long, so this is the time to take that extra bit off. And then it's a very good idea, if you're not in a rush, when you've got it to just the right length, to put a little more liquid Fimo on. Let me just get some from over there on the back to stabilise that back bit, and bake it again. It doesn't matter how many times you bake it. It just stabilises those tiny little bits that you see would just fall off otherwise. And that's a little pine cone. And I think they look really beautiful.